And relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Are you experiencing troubles with thinking, comprehending, or speaking, have post-COVID brain fog, ADHD, concussion, tremors from Parkinson's, mental health issues, or simply striving to maximize your brain's potential? At Hypercharge Wellness Centers, we deliver transformative results for the brain. Hypercharge Wellness's brain fitness protocol utilizes cutting-edge modalities, including PEMF, red light therapy beds, and transcranial laser, which all work together to improve focus and cognitive functions. These treatments aim to improve the brain's blood flow and electrical patterns, which reduces anxiety and enhances relaxation, providing a comprehensive approach to brain health optimization. All are invited to experience this life-changing journey towards achieving the pinnacle of cognitive and emotional well-being. Call or go online to schedule your free Hypercharge Wellness introductory session valued at $200 today. This is your opportunity to feel the difference for yourself. No matter where you are in the Twin Cities, there is a convenient location near you. Visit hyperchargeclinic.com now. That's hyperchargeclinic.com. Hypercharge is hope.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Snow tapers off this evening with an overnight low of 19, then Saturday cloudy with a high of 28. Make your next night out perfect with a meal from an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant. They're perfect for any occasion from date night to family night to a casual night out with friends. View the list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Karagita, all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
Hey, long time no see. We were in Minneapolis together today.
Yeah, what a fun time, and happy Valentine's Day to all of our listeners out there.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, Wendy will be coming on in the fourth segment, and I can wish her on the air a happy Valentine's Day. And
if you haven't already done so.
Yeah, well, not on the radio. That's what I'm saying.
That's so cute.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, what a day at the Indian Center. Missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. The state of the art with prayer and smudging. And, you know, it was just an amazing day. And I know we are going to have State Senator Mary Kunesh, who is one of the keynote speakers, of course, and with all the great work that she's done down at the Capitol, along with her friends. And so I know we have something we want to play too. Let's talk a little bit about and we had Anna Negretti on and Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and Rachel Dion Thunder. These all been on our show, and we're just proud to be allies with these strong women. And Haley, what do we got coming in this segment?
Yeah, well, yeah, you shouted out some of the great women who spoke today. I want to shout out to the MMI March, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives March, which happens every year on the 14th. We attended the Minneapolis one, and I know that there were a couple other events going on in Bemidji and Duluth. So thank you to everyone who showed up. Thank you to the organizers and everyone who had a hand in putting those events together. Yeah, it was really great to hear from Senator Mary Kunesh. I want to shout out the families of those Indigenous relatives who have gone missing or have been murdered that spoke up today and in previous years. It's always, just it's so important to hear those stories come from the families themselves, and those perspectives are so important. And you just really connect with their hurt and with their grief. And, as we come together in a community and support one another in our relatives that have gone missing and murdered, that's just, we heal together. So we grieve together, but we also come together and heal. And that was a big part of today as well. I know Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, Peggy Flanagan, showed up, which she usually does. Very grateful for her and all the work that she's done. I know we have a little bit of her speech.
Yeah.
Should we go play that?
Yeah, let's play that and discuss it. And I know there's a few more things I'd like to talk about, all the people at the parade and all that. So let's get fired up here with the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Minnesota.
It was work.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there it is.
We are strong, we are strong, we are strong. I have a proclamation with very tiny print. I turned 45, I can't see it anymore, so I'm gonna do my best, because this is part of our role. When we're in these positions, like Senator Kunesh, and in this role, we get to use these roles to bring attention to these issues in our community. And so whereas, according to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, American Indians accounted for 4.24% of all reported homicide victims or non-negligent manslaughters in Minnesota in 2024, despite representing only 1.4% of the state's population. And whereas last year, 716 Indigenous persons went missing in Minnesota, and 57% of those were women. And there are more stats and more statistics that we all know very well, but I'm going to get to the part that demonstrates our power, which is Minnesota Makoche commemorates the lives of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives whose cases are both documented and undocumented in the media and in public records, and remains supportive of victims' families. And whereas this day serves to raise continued awareness and encourages all people of Minnesota to support Indigenous communities to stop this epidemic and heal together as we all create a collective, safer future. Now, therefore, I, Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota, do hereby proclaim Friday, February 14th, 2025 as Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Awareness Day in the state of Minnesota Makoche. For everything that you have done to bring us to this moment, and Shimigwech for everything that you will do to ensure that we remain strong, that we are together, that we heal collectively, and that one day we will no longer face violence in our community of any kind, because that is what our future is. That future is waiting for all of us. Miigwech.
Wow, that was very awesome. And too, we're going to have State Senator Mary Kunesh on too, and she had a lot of statistics and a great speech as always. And it's just great to see the strong women there. I just have to say the parade was huge, Haley. I lost
Yeah.
you. I was videotaping and taking pictures. I was the
Yeah.
guy with the red Native Roots Radio hoodie on, kind of with a tear in my eye, looking around.
Hey, shout out Native Roots Radio, repping that out there. Yeah, the march was huge. I know people say all the time the march gets bigger and bigger every year. And this one,
Mhm.
we were able to be back at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. I know last year's route that we marched was a bit shorter, but it's great to be back out there in community and be surrounded by people who are fighting for the same thing.
Yeah, and it's great to see people in community too. The amount of people that were there, the schools. I know Harding was there. There's other Minneapolis schools there, and St. Paul schools like Harding, and I was just totally blessed and amazed by what was happening uh, today, and
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
amazing. Do we want to talk about a few things before with the weekend coming about for our listeners, Haley?
For sure. Yeah, there's a ton of Valentine's weekend fun activities to go out and do. I know tonight you can see Trish Cook and Deanna Standing Cloud, Big Auntie Energy, which is the all Ojibwe comedy show. They're going to be at the Indigenous Roots Cultural Arts Center in St. Paul. That address is 788 East 7th Street. And that'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. tonight, Friday. I don't think they're doing the whole comedy sketch for those hours, but there is a native art market that will be going on too. So vendors will be present if you need to pick up that last minute Valentine's gift for your sweetheart. And then also, if you're in the St. Paul area, I know American Indian Magnet School will be hosting their Sweetheart Powwow from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight. And then all weekend, tonight through Sunday, Prairie Island is hosting their Winter Wachipi, their powwow. So check that out. I know grand entry times for Prairie Island will be tonight at 7, and then Saturday 1 and 7, and then I think 1 p.m. on Sunday.
It's
That what it says?
amazing that there's all this happening here in Indian country, and here on Native Roots Radio, we need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and definitely go to powwows. So we're excited.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to talk to State Senator Mary Kunesh and experience. We were able to finally get her resist jacket. So
Oh yeah.
my memory was, I have a good memory, but it's short, but I did bring it. And when she did her speech, she had that on and it was just awesome. So we'll talk to State Senator and get her insight on today and what else is going around on Turtle Island.
Right on.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner, and your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. Thinking about college? Consider checking out Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
Do you have a vehicle you no longer need? Are you a little cash strapped? Rudy Luther Toyota will pay you for your used vehicle. It's really simple. Head to rudyluthertoyota.com, answer a few simple questions, and Rudy Luther Toyota will get you an instant offer. Then they will set up an appointment, and after a quick verification, they will handle all the paperwork and coordinate getting you your check. It's that simple. It's a fast way for you to get rid of the vehicle you no longer need, putting money in your hands. For more information, head to rudyluthertoyota.com. That's rudyluthertoyota.com.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we are here with our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and what a great day. It's a somber thing, and it always hits me when people are talking, yelling out the names of their missing relatives. But in some sense, it's a celebratory with us all getting together, and you're one of the keynote speakers and speaking your truth. And I just appreciate, one, you being on the show all the time, and two, being in community, and that's so important. Welcome.
Mataki, everyone. Thank you really very much again for allowing me to be here and to, just share the process of legislation and what's going on in this world of ours. So happy to be here. And I was really looking forward to today's rally and march to remember our MMIR, missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. And as you said, there were so many people there that I haven't seen for a while. And my whole staff, my whole crew came out today, which was just really lovely, knowing that they support the work that I do and the work that we do at the legislature around this issue. I have a really great intern from Lower Brule, Sequoia, and she and the other intern from over in the house were there today, and just so many people I hadn't seen in a long time. It was really bittersweet because it does bring us together, but at the same time, for such a sad reason to be together.
Yeah, and you were sporting that Resist jacket, and Wendy asked me, and when we'll be on the show today, asked me if it
This
fit
one?
because you picked it out. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments about that jacket, Robert. So, you might need to improve your marketing skills. But yeah, thanks. It fit perfectly. It fit like a glove, like it was made for me. And the message was so true.
Yeah, and especially we're now in Resist Part 2, and with funding and things that are happening again, and we are bringing it back for sure. But yeah, thank you for, and it's the least we can do is give you a gift like that all the great stuff that you've been on so many years now with Native Roots Radio, and people are always excited to hear you, and I hear all good things in the community about you. So it's just a win-win for all of us, and I appreciate you. There was thousands of people there, I believe. Wendy always tells me I exaggerate, but Wendy, do I exaggerate?
All the time.
Oh, geez. There's 40 people there. No.
So when you say that I'm a good legislator, are we exaggerating?
No, not that.
No, not that at all. She meant about crowds. She meant, right, Wendy?
Specifically about crowds. Yeah.
Oh, crowds in general. Got it.
People there, and then it turns out there were like 300.
Oh,
it felt like thousands.
No, but it was a huge crowd today, and you are a great legislator. And the things that you talked about, can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, we talked with Anna and prior to the show, or prior to the march, and the license plate. Talk about the license plate. That's just an amazing statistic of what's happening. More license plates, MMIW license plates than the Twins and the Vikings, and we're in second place. It's just really cool to hear.
It is really super cool. just to update everybody, I passed some legislation that created a specialty license plate for cars here in Minnesota, and it has the logo of our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives office on the left, and then on the right there's a ribbon skirt that's kind of flowing. It was just an inspiration that I had one day on my drive to the Capitol. And I got to the Capitol and kind of laid out my ideas to my staff. And by the time I came back an hour and a half later, they had the bill ready to go. And we passed it pretty handily. So now Minnesota has this beautiful license plate that generates dollars for the MMIR office. And as I said, I believe that that license plate is the second most requested license plate in the state, and has generated over $90,000 that go back to the into the office, the MMIR office, to continue to do the really good work that that they've been able to do. Again, first in the nation, we're leading in those ways so much. But the other thing that was really cool that happened this past summer was that one of our live billboard companies installed 7 different recordings or images of our relatives that have gone missing and murdered. And, you know, it's those live digital huge billboards. And it's all of these things really contribute to learning more about the pandemic of MMIR. And it also helps to bring awareness to the historic trauma that our communities have held for so long. And we all talked about how this used to be, you know, nobody talked about it. We all knew these things were happening for generation after generation. And even when I first started the task force here in Minnesota, you know, a couple of people said, well, we shouldn't talk about it. It's going to bring up trauma. You're going to re-traumatize people. Families don't want to talk about it. And when I took that back to the community, to say, you know, is this maybe not a good idea? They're like, absolutely not. We must do this. We must start talking about it. We must start telling our stories. We must start working towards ending, you know, the horrors of the violence, the domestic violence, the murders, the sex trafficking, all of those things. And so that's what we're doing, you know, and more people, even like today, when you said, how many people shouted out names of their relatives that were murdered or are missing? And so, you know, I'm just really glad that I'm still in this place and have a voice and am able to create legislation that is going to make such a good difference for our communities.
Yeah, we are too. And I know Wendy's in the bullpen here, but we had 2 sets of plates we bought.
Yes, I got a set for my car, but then my car got totaled. So, yeah. So, but anyway, if and when I get another car, I definitely will get another set of the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives plates. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see them on the road too. Sometimes you want to go, who is that? And drive up there really quick. But
I do that all the time. And then if I, you know, I'm looking at them and they're like, who is that crazy lady looking at me? And I just honk and kind of point towards a license plate and then try to drive by so they see that I have one too. Anna Negrete, who is she's like the acting director of the MMIR office right now, gave me a really good idea. She said that when she's out and about and maybe she comes across someone in a parking lot with one of those, she keeps a stash of MMIR, like the bandanas or the magnet, or, you know, some of those little things. And she just tucks it on the car as a thank you for it. So I've started to do that. I've put out 2 so far.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to add you to the show here.
Okay,
That is a good idea.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi,
Yeah, I
Mary.
mean,
Good to see you.
it might freak people out, but at the same time, who doesn't like to find a little something good on their car handle or something? So yeah.
Well, I spent a little extra and got land back on mine, LANDBK. And I think
Wow.
land BA or BCK Sean Sherman has.
Okay.
I couldn't get
Yeah.
hooked either.
There's been a bunch of people that have messaged me or sent me, like, I got this and I got that. I have Watoni on mine, which means like respect, those sort of things. So, it's actually kind of fun to do that.
Mhm.
I like all my family, like tons of my family members have them. So now when we have family gatherings, they're all MMIR license plate. My daughter has a food trailer, and she said they just got one for the food trailer, for their regular car, for their truck. So I hope that kind of catches on too in all the different states. It would be cool to see how the design that states might use. I think somebody in Wisconsin is thinking about doing this. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool to see what they come up with for their own specialty license plate.
Well, I want to talk more about this too, and I have a question about the plates on the next segment. Been here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, Haley Cherry, and my Valentine, Wendy Pilot, and we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to pay some bills. And this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this message.
Stay with us.
Oh.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go. So making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle winter. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service schedule to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Thinking about college? Consider checking out Minnesota private colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
A home that needs new everything. Plus the kitchen sink. Life math is complicated. Affinity Plus makes it easier. With great rates on a home equity line of credit, we make tackling home projects less stressful. Visit affinityplus.org/rates to learn more today. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
You may not think of it, but winter is a great time to take care of those exterior home projects.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction. Most people wait until the warmer months for their exterior home projects, but labor costs are actually lowest in the winter. And that's true for the contractor I trust, Snap Construction. Arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation contractor in the metro. Are you noticing ice dams on your house? Or is your furnace constantly running and you're still not comfortable? In addition to your exterior home projects, winter is also a great time to get your insulation checked with a free energy audit from Snap Construction. The average cost to upgrade your insulation is oftentimes less than a new furnace. Plus, there are rebates available from your energy provider when you upgrade your insulation. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. So don't wait for prices to rise in the warmer months. Get a free estimate now by calling 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or go to snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Snow tapers off this evening with an overnight low of 19, then Saturday cloudy with a high of 28. If you're looking for a birthday gift or just something for someone important in your life, make sure to check out our list of AM 950 advertisers where they have something for everybody. Many of them have gift cards too. Visit our list of advertisers at am950radio.com. This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
This is Leonard Peltier. I'm in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yeah, Wendy, welcome back. Wendy was saying that we need to change that bumper, but soon, the 18th, our Uncle Leonard Peltier will be out. And for many years, when I asked Wendy to be on every day, all the time, she would say at the end of the show, free Leonard Peltier.
Mm-hmm. I know I did it after he was released, so I have to make sure that I stop saying it, and we all wish him the very best.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, we are here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and one of the things I wanted to bring up, State Senator, is that you had your family there, and how cute were your grandkids?
Oh, it was it was such a joy to bring them to something like that. Am I trying to indoctrinate my girls, my granddaughters into advocacy? Maybe, but I knew this was going to be a good one to bring them to. And it's, it was in the beautiful gym of the Indian Center. There was going to be plenty of room. And so, I brought my two little granddaughters, Sylvia and Rita. On Wednesday night, we went over to where Rory Wake-em Up was doing the screen printing of all the bandanas. And if you brought shirts or, any garment that you wanted to, they would also screen print that. So my daughter came, and her father-in-law, who's just moved from California, came. And we made shirts and bandanas for everybody. And so the girls had little handprint shirts on, and I whipped up a ribbon skirt, Valentine ribbon skirt for them. And it was just really rewarding for me to be there. My niece came, my entire staff came, as I said, and my interns. So it's just really gratifying when the people around you who recognize how important this is, like to me and to our community, show up to support us all.
Yeah, it is, it was great to see them. And it's funny too, because for years you've been watching them on Fridays, and we've gotten to see them when they're little, and now they're kind of napping at the time we're on.
Yeah. They need a break. Yes, I do grandma daycare on Fridays, and there are days where they are playing so nice. I hate to make them take a nap, but if they don't take a nap, they're kind of owly by the end of the day. So we got home today. We had lunch. They crawled into a little bed together and took a really good nap. I can tell you I rested a bit myself, but overall it was, like you said, a really bittersweet, joyous day to be around and in community, but at the same time, recognizing and remembering those that we've lost. And we heard directly from a couple of the parents whose daughters are still out there missing, and they haven't gotten any kind of a conclusion to the horror of this all.
Right. Well, Wendy knows about grandma daycare. We have our grandkids here Wednesday and Thursday, and they're very young, but it's always important to have them learn about this stuff, right, Wen?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And as soon as they get just a little bit bigger, they're only 6 months old, so they don't really know what's going on. But yeah, we'll be bringing them around. Yeah,
Yeah. Never too young to start them, I think.
that's true. That's true.
Right. Well, they've already gotten their first or second ribbon skirt that you bought them, and
Yeah.
ribbon shirt, so they're on their way.
Oh
Now
my
I
gosh,
just
so cute
gotta
little
name
ribbon
them.
shirt.
Oh,
Oh, it's gonna be
yeah.
adorable.
I think they've grown out of it, Wendy.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they have too.
They're
Let's see if I
huge.
have a picture. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, but yeah, so that's awesome. Grandma, and Nona is Italian for grandma, right? When
Yes, so
and
the babies will call me Nona.
Oh, I
and
love
me,
it. There's
Choka.
lots of books out there about Italian grandmas called Nona.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So what do we got going now? We're in full session here now, and what's ahead for you and your committees?
Well, I'm the chair of education finance, so we still are hearing a lot of just informational background information from the different departments and organizations. We are not expecting to have a lot of money to spend this year, not like we had 2 years ago. So I've been very intentional about, sort of combing through all the different line items, looking at the any way we can trim some of those grants and some of the departments. The House is still in that power. Well, they're not in the power sharing right now because GOP has a one-person majority, so they are at the we call it the gavel. They have the gavel and are moving their agenda very clearly around waste, fraud, and those sort of things. In the Senate, I'm trying to be more productive with our time and really learn about what and how we finance education in Minnesota, but also looking very carefully at those dollars that we receive from the federal government. And much of the money that we receive from the federal government are for title programs. So things like special ed and different programs for our students of disabilities. And we're very concerned. You can come in. We're really concerned that some of those dollars will go away. I read somebody sent me a screenshot of a really nasty tweet that that Trump sent out about teachers, calling them ugly and indoctrinating our kids and things like that. So I'm pretty nervous that we will see some big cuts if like we just heard in the last couple of days about big cuts to the University of Minnesota for their research on cancer. We heard about them drawing back money from St. Thomas for teachers, the teacher pathway programs for special ed. And I mean, all we hear about is how we need more and more teachers for special ed. And here's a program funded by the federal government. Here's one of my little peanuts, funded by the federal government that they basically are not going to reimburse the university for. And this would affect our ability to get those kind of teachers that we need the most into the classroom. So that's kind of where we are with things. I mean, I want to be optimistic. I look for different areas where I can be optimistic, but we'll see what we'll be able to do by the end of this session. Hopefully we'll get a balanced budget and we won't have to go to, oh my gosh, look at those. Look at this, Rita. Look at those two. Look at her
Wendy's
pretty
showing
ribbon
the
skirt and
pictures of
his ribbon shirt.
twins.
Thank you, Haley.
Yes.
They're
Radio
just like
right?
We're radio. We got to talk.
Yes, Summer and Silas. Little Summer is in a beautiful little ribbon skirt,
That's
and
Summer.
Silas has a ribbon
That's
shirt
Silas.
on. And I think they're about 3 months old here.
I love that.
Oh,
I do.
Rita says, oh.
Oh, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah, so I guess too.
I want to grow up and have a baby. So tell them that.
Oh, Rita wants you to know that she's going to grow up and have a baby someday. Yeah.
Right.
Very important for her.
Well, if it's a boy, Robert's a strong name for a boy. I just want
Yes, we'll remember that.
Right
We'll
away.
remember that.
right away let her know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to not only applaud you but support you. And how can it's our house? How can people come down and support what you're doing?
Well, I guess pay attention to the hearings in all the different areas. Maybe you have a special interest in taxes or the bonding bill or health and human services, any of those different ones. Folks can watch our hearings live on the Senate YouTube channel. And pay attention to what's coming up. And if there is a topic that you feel really strongly about one way or the other, I'm not saying that we always, get it perfectly right. But if you have something to say, please join in the hearings that we have. I mean, both Wendy and Robert have come down, and Haley, you're going to have to join the crowd one of these days, have come down to the the Capitol and testified on issues that are really important to them. I'll have a bill to return some land to Mille Lacs again. I'll have a bill that, if requested by the Native American parent group, to have drumming at a graduation, that has to be considered. I mean, these are the kind of goofy things that we have to put in legislation. Like when we said they could, Native kids can wear their tobacco bag in school, or they can have a feather in their cap when they graduate. And of course,
smudging.
Yeah. And of course, John Bobolink from St. Paul, who was the Native parent leader, I'm not sure exactly what his title was. He really championed the ability for the students to be able to have a place to smudge.
Yeah.
And he's the one that got that happen in St. Paul. And then we ended up taking that and moving it into a piece of legislation. So statewide schools can carve out a place that's safe and supervised for students to smudge. So that's what you can all do. And then if there are issues that you're hearing or seeing out there that you think we need to create some legislation around, we're always open to ideas and thoughts on what needs to be done to really make our state a really great state for everybody.
Great way to end it. Again, big Peeny Gigi. I had to take a nap too, and I appreciate you coming on and speaking your truth and doing everything you've done in the community, and the license plates and speaking, and John Boblake powwow coming up. A friend of Wendy's is
and standing up for our wolves, Mary. I don't want to forget that. That is huge.
Yeah.
Big time.
You bet.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. This is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to come back with Wendy and our sacred animal portion of the show and Valentine's portion.
Sounds good.
Stay with us.
I love the Toyota Sienna Hybrid from Rudy Luther Toyota. Safe, roomy, comfortable, and insanely fuel efficient. One thing I haven't mentioned is how good the Sienna is at winter driving. We just had a snowstorm and my Sienna handled the ice and snow no problem. From getting through the plow pile at the end of the driveway to safely navigating the snow-covered highways. The Sienna is designed to give you a comfortable, safe drive. When winter weather hits, I give myself extra time, but with Sienna's handling and heated seats, extra time is great. Test drive a Sienna today at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hey, it's Patrick. February is the month for love, so when was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was, or are you scared of what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you are breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again and again. But lucky for you, my friends at Zero Res are going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting for just $119 and get a 4th room free. But don't forget dirt and dander's favorite hiding place either, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off any air duct cleaning. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Back order forward, it smells the same. Zero Res.
So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated.
The library. On Jones' house. The bus stop.
And I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Great. It sounds like we don't have a plan.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Annie, and I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, I'd also like to do a quick howl for Wendy's portion of the show, Haley. We love talking about wolves, so why don't we give this a big howl? Hey, I want to introduce my Valentine and my beautiful wife, Wendy. She's been an animal advocate for many, 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 many years, and she's a founder of Native Roots Radio. So welcome, Wendy.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for the Humane World Animals. Humane World for Animals. Humane World for Animals. So many of you might know this because just a couple of days ago, the Humane Society of the United States rebranded their name, and they are now called Humane World for Animals. So I had to get my verbiage ready, right? Because I'm always used to saying a volunteer leader, it's like crazy. So I'm going to be called a policy volunteer because that's exactly what we do. We work on policy. We don't, have shelters. We're not walking dogs. We're not cleaning kennels or kitty litters, although I have done that in the past, and I do enjoy doing all of that.
The kitty
but we want to get to the root of the problems for animals. And in order to help animals, we work on policies. So we want to change the laws for animals. And we need everybody walking the dogs and changing the kitty litters and doing all that stuff. We need everybody to do all different kinds of stuff for the animals. But yeah, the Humane Society of the United States and Humane Society International are both called now Humane World for Animals. So the idea to clarify their mission, the change was unveiled to donors last fall during its annual gala in New York City. I didn't know this, and the official announcement was this week. So part of the rebrand, Humane World for Animals deployed an integrated marketing campaign that includes high visibility billboards across Australia, Canada, India, New York City, and the UK. There are television spots, streaming, audio ads, and social digital campaign. If you watched TV last night, I watched Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel had a singer on and introduced this whole thing. We were really excited that he was able to talk about the rebranding of the Humane World for Animals. And it was really great to see their commercial on TV. So take a look at that. My personal opinion about it is I'm glad. And I think it's about time that it's called Humane World for Animals. I think the Humane Society for the United States was a great name as well. But I think it got like confused, right? With all the local shelters that are called humane societies. So I think it was really good on their part to differentiate themselves, because a lot of people, I think, got upset with the Humane Society of the United States because we don't have shelters and we're not, when you donate to the Humane Society of the United States, you're not donating to a shelter, but a lot of people felt like they were like misled in some way, that, oh, my money's not going to a shelter. We never said that it was going to go to a shelter. It's to help all of us. And they do. I mean, listen, they deploy themselves and all their volunteers with trucks and veterinarians and everything. They go to these places around the United States and around the world when there's disaster zones, when there's fires. They were there for the California fires and went and helped. And they do work with shelters. So they work with local shelters to help get those animals out so that they could, again, use that shelter to bring the animals that they're helping to save at that time into the shelter. So I think it's a great idea. I just have to, it doesn't roll off my tongue yet, you know? So
this is kind of the third name since you've been on the show we're in our 9th season that you've been supporting.
Well, our volunteers, we were called, I think this is our third name. So now we're policy. I don't even remember the first one.
But you were with a different organization.
Oh, yes. I was with a different organization. Yeah.
So, that was a cool one, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we all can do our part. And I did want to thank Mary for the advocacy that she does for wolves. I mean, she cares about our wolves, and we need to really protect them. I'm very nervous this year about what's going to happen because we do not want a mandatory wolf hunt here in Minnesota.
Right.
So we need to get it out of any bill. We need the bill to die on the floor. And we don't want this bill to go into an omnibus bill. And an omnibus bill is just a bill that has a lot of other bills in it. And sometimes bills get kind of snuck into an omnibus bill and then they're voted on and then bad things happen. But good things could also happen too with the bill. But anyway, I'm really interested in going to and supporting Humane Lobby Day.
Oh,
yeah. Humane Lobby Day. We've been doing a Humane Lobby Day at our state capitol here in Minnesota. It's going to be on March 18th. I don't have the exact details as far as the time and this and that, but I want to give out the information as soon as I get it so that you could sign up and come to Humane Lobby Day. It's March 18th. I think it's a Tuesday. It starts at 9:00 in the morning. People sign up, and what we do is we get you appointments. You get to go and come to the Capitol. First, we have a little lunch. We have a speaker, and then we have appointments. So then you go to see your legislator, and we give you information to talk to your legislator about it. The wolf is going to be absolutely on the top of the list this year, among other issues, which I don't know at this time what they are, but it's usually 2, 3, sometimes 4 things that we want to bring up in that meeting that you have with your legislator. And you just go and you sit and you tell them why saving wolves is important. You don't have to be an expert. We give you the information if your legislator asks you a question and you don't know the answer, we will get back to them later on.
Well, I've been to a couple of them with you, Wendy, and
Yeah.
it's really easy, and a lot of times you're with other people
Yep.
with your district that
Yep.
have the same things you want to
The
talk to them
same
about.
legislator. Yep. So it's usually a group of people who go visit. I usually volunteer every year to go with people who don't have any other people to go to their legislator with.
Mhm.
So they might be going alone. They might be there and the only one in their district. And sometimes it could be nerve-wracking, right? You're going to go and talk to your legislator and you're not really sure about the whole situation. So I just kind of, I mean, I've been doing this for I don't even know how long.
Well, you have cheat sheets and bullet points to talk about to keep you on track.
Yeah.
And we're lucky to have our representatives and state senators in
Yes,
our area.
we are definitely really, really lucky. So, I mean, our city council member, Sarah Jost,
Yeah.
our Dave Pinto,
Right.
who is our House representative. We have Erin Murphy, who is our senator. Gosh, we have really a lot of people. So we're really lucky.
Yeah, well, I'm really lucky. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone
happy
out there.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
It was great seeing Haley, and our daughter was at the march too.
Yeah.
Jaleesa, the actor.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was fun. We got some pictures too, and it was snowing. It was beautiful, and our heart is there again. Peeny Gigi Wendy, thank you, and thank you, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and of course, thank you to the producer Haley for setting up the show every day. We're still here. We are the 7th generation, and Leonard Peltier is going to be freed soon.
February 18th.
How to be a great